Okay, how you doing, men? We're calling this video "Boys to Not Men." And you know what that means, right?
Yeah.
We got to sing.
Oh, yay.
How do I? No, I can't do it. So we were just talking and about things you've seen at Walmart, which of course is the great anthropological field to go study the modern American. And one of the things we all kind of noticed was the incredible effeminateness. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. How effeminate young men are these days. Anywhere from 12 on up into their early 20s. And we were just kind of wondering, there's all sorts of things to talk about here. Why, how, what happens. But it seems like a crisis. It doesn't seem like a crisis. It is a crisis. And we were trying to figure out what we thought was causing it. I mean, we're talking about men with boobs. Wes was talking about men with boobs. I thought that was a little creepy.
It's a little creepy. It's creepy. You see guys, and those aren't man boobs. Those are breasts. And narrow shoulders, large breasts. And these guys aren't obese. They're just narrow shoulders, large breasts, big hips, and they're guys.
And the softness. I mean,
soft.
a softness of body, a softness of... We used to talk about bearing in the Marine Corps. You wanted to have a bearing and a 1,000-yard stare. These guys will have no bearing and soft eyes, and they make eye contact and beg you not to pick on them with their eyes.
If that, usually it's like they're staring at a mouse staring at a piece of cheese and there's a cat laying by it. I really want to do something, but I can't. I mean, what is going on?
And there is a physical smallness. It feels like they're not as tall. Like I said, their shoulders are narrow. Mariah was mentioning that you'll see a normal-looking young woman walking with this tiny little mini guy, and she's the one with walking with determination and confidence, and he's sort of following along behind her, pulling his shoes on, not picking his feet up, like he's walking in house slippers or something. And it can't just be. I mean, there's a physical manifestation to it. These guys are smaller. They've got boobs. They're soft. They got narrow shoulders, and there's a shocking amount of them. So we were kind of thinking, what could it be? And my mind went straight to vaccines because I'm kind of on a vaccine kick right now. Mariah brought up the fact that my two oldest sons, don't live with us, didn't grow up in our lifestyle, and they most likely have their full vaccination. They definitely have all their vaccinations. They don't have this problem. They're both big, strapping young men. The difference with them is they were really active in sports, really competitive. And as Wes pointed out, their father has testosterone coming out of his ears. And he's right.
I was actually comparing my children and his children, the fact that they weren't affected with testosterone levels in the parents. So I did lump myself into the obvious true statement.
And you said your kids have all vaccines, right?
Yes.
How old are they?
Early 20s.
See, my theory was that the vaccines had changed to affect the 20-year-olds, but that doesn't fit the evidence in front of us. Wes says McDonald's. He blames the clown.
I blame the clown, man. The clown and all his minions. I mean, where do they make the hamburger stuff at? Where do they make the bread at? Where do they make the special sauce? I mean, come on, they put something on their burger called special sauce.
They're not even trying to hide it.
It doesn't make any sense. You eat a McDonald's French fry and you're like, I've got to have more McDonald's French fries. What kind of oil are they frying the French fry in? Why don't they look like potatoes when they're cooked in?
I had to keep coming back to lifestyle. These kids are sitting around all day long playing video games. They're not getting any competition in their life, no challenge, no shots of adrenaline, no chances to fail. They can confront any challenge on a computer screen, but their physical bodies just aren't getting any exercise or challenge. They're just bleh.
And even the ones that do, they're being forced to act, or they're being forced by society to accept the way the other guys are doing as normal, and they're actually, because like that guy, undisclosed location, there's a very attractive woman, a manly man, they're obviously announcing there's a baby on the way. This guy, his stature, his walk and everything, if you met him on the street, you'd be like, okay, I need to make sure that I don't tick him off.
Yeah, beefy guy, short haircut.
He was walking, he was following the woman. He's like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, he was following behind her, and he was carrying a pink handbag.
I mean, not that as in, I will carry my wife's purse. I'm not saying that if you carry your wife's purse, there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that. What were we talking about? Kittens?
Okay, sorry, we had a technical difficulty there, man. Wes was pointing out that his wife has a purse, and he carries it sometimes.
She's also got a Glock.
Does she have high heels?
No.
You don't wear those sometimes, do you?
No, I do not.
Okay. My wife doesn't even own a purse. That's how manly I am. I couldn't carry her purse if I wanted to. And I don't want to.
Y'all have met my wife. She has a Glock.
Yeah, she won't get on the camera.
A revolver and a rifle. And
her purse doesn't have zippers. It has barbed wire.
My wife's purse isn't, come on, it's a backpack. So I can pull it off pretty easy.
Okay, back on track. So these young men also are being hammered in, day out, that masculinity is bad and toxic, and that the true judge of their character is how nice they are. Are they nice?
Right.
Do they make everyone feel good about themselves?
Man, you gotta be so mean.
Yep.
I mean,
masculinity is rough. You know, I have a high opinion of myself as a man, but I'm not. There's manlier men than me, and I have to take my place in that hierarchy. As you know, maybe I'm not the top dog in every gathering. Who's the top dog in this? No, we won't go there.
you've got an axe, dude.
I have an axe, but Mrs. Wes is right over there, and she's got a Glock, so I don't know where we're.
Oh.
Am I compensating with the axe, by the way? Is that what this is? Am I really hiding my weak little boy inside behind the axe?
No, you were playing with the axe until we decided to do a video and you just put it down.
I frequently just wander around the place holding an axe, though. It could be compensation for something.
He's an axe murderer and I'm a pyromaniac. I mean, we got this stuff going on.
This is great. Okay.
We could rule the world.
So Mariah brought up something too just a minute ago, and I have seen this. My son, my second son, who he's got testosterone coming out of his ears. The last time he was over, he made his. I'm looking at the wrong camera. We got two cameras going here. He made his grandmother's head almost explode because he climbed up on the top of the house and jumped off into the swimming pool. He likes sports. He likes them all. He's good at baseball, which makes his father very proud. He loves football, which makes his father very unhappy. He likes to wrestle, and at one point, he was having to wrestle a girl, which is just to. I don't like wrestling. I don't want. If you're going to touch me that much, one of us is buying dinner. It just creeps me out to be rubbing all over someone that much. But he had to wrestle this girl, and she was. He was probably 12, maybe 13. I don't remember. The girl was 12 or 13. She was developed, and it's.
That's just stupid.
It's. I mean, you're rolling all over the floor, rubbing on each other. I don't like to watch guys do it because someone's face ends up somewhere else. But when you add a girl in there into the mix, suddenly it just becomes just wrong. Isn't even begin to address what it is, and we take these young boys who, at 11 or 12 years old, I don't think most women understand what's going on inside a young man's head at 11, 12 years old. It is a scary, scary, scary place. And
there be dragons.
There be dragons. And then we take these boys and we tell them they've got to compete with girls in front of other boys. My son lost at least one of those wrestling matches to that girl. And I don't blame him. It was not like, oh, you got beat by a girl. He should have never been put in a position where he had, I'm just going to be crude. They were dry humping each other in the floor in front of hundreds of people. I mean, if you had videoed it in a different way and packaged it, you probably could have sold it to sickos as something to watch. I'm a little bit ashamed that I let him do it.
I mean, there's some places you just can't put your hand when you're wrestling a girl, and it kind of gives them uptick. I mean,
you just can't put young men into those kind of situations,
right,
and not expect it to affect them on
a way deeper level. If men, and this is my personal opinion, Daniel, I'm going to beat you to this one. If men and women are meant to wrestle, there should be some form of oil or jello involved.
And a preacher, too.
Yeah, and a preacher, yes, a preacher.
Let's just, you go to a preacher first, then you go wrestle all you want.
Yeah, all you want to.
But here's the scary part about all this. You know, in our community, everyone knows this phrase. You know, hard men make for good times make for soft men make for hard times. We have a lot of soft men. You know, all of us are part of the prepper community, and we're all interested in all the various threats that exist out there. I would submit the biggest threat we face is this epidemic of feminized young men who cannot, who do not accept their masculinity, do not even realize maybe it exists, have never dealt with it, have never had to categorize it and find out where they fit in that masculine hierarchy, and they act all soft and nice on the outside, but when those men blow, they're going to blow epic. You know, these are the men, like these incels, who, one of them ran a truck into a bunch of women in Canada. There was that young guy who he went on a shooting spree and killed 6 or 7 people in California. He aimed at women. You know, these are all these nice little feminized metrosexual guys who try to tamp down this masculinity, this testosterone, and they can only do it so long before it comes out, and it comes out in very, very negative, destructive ways. Maybe they're not all going to go on killing rampages, but they're going to be going and paying for sex. They're going to have drug problems and alcohol problems. They will end up having domestic violence problems. Their wives, their women, are not going to be able to be satisfied with these guys. They are going to always have a desire for a more masculine type, and those women is going to get expressed as going after stupid, fake masculinity like gangbangers or whatever, and it is going to greatly accelerate the cultural decline, where you're going to have these men who can't even who can't articulate who they are, what they need. These women who need what these men can't articulate, and everyone's going to be in this self-destructive cycle. We see it already. It's already happening, but it's going to get so much worse in this next generation because of the way we've raised them, because of what we tell them about themselves, and we don't give them any outlets for this stuff anymore. Men need to be able to get this stuff out. We have to develop it and nurture it and build it, and then we have to expend it. You can't just let this sit down in your bottom of your belly churning all this time. Men have a need and a desire to possess and to build and to protect and to be in charge, and
that's something they've made poison.
Yes,
is the fact that men have a desire. Women, you should feel privileged by this. Ladies, seriously. A woman has a built-in, it was wired in by God to own his wife. But in that he owns his wife, he loves her as a most valued possession. He will do, in his core, he wants to do what it takes to protect that. He wants to do what it takes to make that possession happy. He wants to keep that possession healthy. He wants the world for that possession, which is his wife. I do not own, as in have a stamp or a brand on my wife, but she is the most precious thing, the best gift that God has ever given me to possess, and I will kill for her. I will maim for her. I will sweat for her. I will bleed for her. Because she is my woman. She is my wife. Why would you want to give that up for, what can I do for you, honey?
The most dangerous phrase. You ever hear a man say this phrase? Get him away from your daughters. I just want to make you happy. That is a twisted, sick, unstable man, and he will lead your daughter into ruin. Ruin, I tell you. Ruin.
Daughter just went through it.
Because that's a man who doesn't know what he wants. That's a man who's making the woman a mission instead of bringing her along on his mission. We're going too far afield here. But my point, or our point, I'm sorry, not my point.
We get to talk about all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah. Is men they can either build and protect, or they can kill and destroy. There's no other options. You can build and protect, or you can kill and destroy. There's not this middle stage here where you can just be there and exist and make people happy. If you're not building and protecting, then you are going to end up being destructive as a man. And we've got all these young men these days that we have not taught them that, and they're going to end up being destructive to themselves or others. And when we see it every day in our society, but it's going to get worse. And our daughters are going to be opened up to so much harm and hurt and foolishness, because there's not going to be men in their lives to fulfill that role that's so necessary. I don't really know what there's not a solution. Here's my deal, and I'm not the one that talks about it. There's no way out of this. We can't turn it around. We've got to build our small insular communities, and let's hope and do our best to build, like I said, communities that can survive what's coming and come out on the other side, so that our children don't have to give up their values, and our daughters don't have to be left unprotected and unloved, and our sons don't have to go through this hell of not knowing who they are and what they're here for and what their purpose is, and that everything about them is mean, bad, and ugly and destructive. The whole title of this video is going to be Boys to Not Men, and in our culture, in our communities, we have got to recognize that we have to get our boys to be men, and yeah, that can be a little ugly at times.
Yeah.
I think the Bible says, where there is no oxen, the manger is clean, but by the labor of the oxen there is much profit. That's a little bit of a paraphrase, but that's close to being right. Men are a little messy, but there's a lot of good that comes from men, and all the other things we like in society has to have that stable foundation of men to be built. It has to have men to build it, and we're not going to have that in our society much longer, and so we're not going to have those things that we value, and we have to make sure our sons and our daughters can have it in our communities. I'm sorry, you finish this one up. I took off too long.
This is his channel. I'm going to try to keep this the way he would do it, because we really are really close on almost everything. We, as a society, are allowing somebody or something or several of them to destroy what God created us as. We need to be what God wanted us to be, what God intended for us to be. Do not let modern society strip you of who you are. Get in the Word, search your heart, listen to God. It's not that men are men. Boys will not be boys. Boys are meant to be men. Women, girls are not supposed to be girls. Girls are supposed to grow into women. They're different for a reason. Y'all stay alive. Don't die.
Amen. We appreciate you. Thank you.